So, Warcraft 2 is apparently getting a remaster, which, Warcraft 3, that was such a success. People loved it. Um, but yeah, Warcraft 2, um, Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness, a huge step in lore. Um, we kind of learn more about what was going on and kind of play through it and um the orc invasion and stuff like that. Uh, I think that was when we had the cutscenes of like Khadgar and everything, like, and just it looked terrible. Um, I mean, at least it looked terrible given the fact that it's not the Khadgar we know and love, who's very much older but very refined and you know, but just but Blizzard leaks reveal Warcraft 2 remastered ahead of Warcraft 30th anniversary stream. Yeah, 30 years of Warcraft, 20 years for World of Warcraft. It seems as if players will soon have the chance to once again raise their swords in the battlefields of the Second War. As it appears, a remaster of Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness is on the way. Yeah, yeah, the Second War was huge. It was huge. Um, but so, it's not as like the game is good, but people remember like Warcraft 3 and how amazing that was. So people tend to forget sometimes that, Warcraft and Warcraft 2 even exist. Of course, it's like, well, it's Warcraft 3, so there's two others before it. Um, the supposed existence of this remaster was first brought to light courtesy of sorry, my eyes are Anshlun, on the World of Warcraft centric Wowhead forums, sharing a number of high resolution logos and graphics related to the project. Anshlun explained that he discovered these assets thanks to Blizzard having recently pushed an update to their CDNs that include a new title, Warcraft 2 Remastered Internal Alpha. The info can be publicly tracked on BlizzTracker. You can also see the full configuration file there as well. Uh, Further, per the aforementioned Blizzard API track tracker BlizzTrack, the Warcraft 2 Remastered Alpha is currently receiving regular updates, with most recently coming roughly 8 hours prior to this article's publication. While Blizzard has yet to officially announce confirm the game's existence, given that the developers is set to hold a Warcraft 30th anniversary direct on November 13th. It is now the 9th, so in a couple days. It seems all but certain that Warcraft 2 remaster was intended to be a crown jewel in the day's events. The original Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness launched in 95, in doing so, notably adding naval combat to the RTS series strategic offerings, and received the Beyond the Dark Portal expansion a year later. Um, as though the original was received very positive reviews due to Blizzard's prior remastering efforts, there's no guarantee that the remaster will fare as well with players and critics. Yeah, the three Warcraft 3 Reforged, that was, people were like, the original was actually still better. Like this, they tried to remaster and redo all the scenes and stuff, but it's like these are just clunky and they don't look good. Especially like with Arthas and Illidan, they just looked off. And people were like, how is it that a game that came out, 20 something, almost 30 years ago is still looking better than what we have now? For example, 2020's Warcraft 3 Reforged is widely considered to be inferior to the 2000 original by every metric, by nearly every metric, with its numerous problems, including missing features, a restrictive map editor meant to ensure Blizzard could dictate and own what was created, and the final release boasting far worse graphics than what was promised in the games. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, I remember seeing it, and I was looking forward to it. I'm like, oh my god, Warcraft 3, but updated with cool looking graphics. No, everyone hated it. People were like, I'm getting my money back. I'm getting my money back. We're still when Reforged launched, it did so as an update to Warcraft 3, thus removing players' ability to access the game's original form. Though Blizzard was quick to roll out refunds, offer apologies, and fix what issues they could on that launch week, their efforts did little to quell players' rage and soured many on the whole experience. Yeah, I remember. If you guys remember what it was like when this game came out, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, like, how do you mess up something like that? How do you mess up something? The game is 20 something years old, and you somehow manage to mess it up. Come on. According to people familiar with the plans, speaking to Bloomberg, Warcraft 3 Reforged was so poorly received by players and considered such a disaster by Blizzard higher-ups that the development team who worked on it was pulled from working on 2021's Diablo 2 Resurrected. And this ultimately turned out to be the right decision for the developer, as censorship aside, Resurrected was well received by critics and not nearly as reviled as Reforged. Though some plays did feel criticized its graphics, while they felt altered the original art style for the worse, as well as infestation by bots. Well, I mean, that's just, you know. Now we got Diablo 2, or not. We're talking about Diablo here. We're talking about Warcraft 2 right here. Ultimately, whether or not Warcraft 2 Remastered is in players' futures will be revealed with Blizzard when Blizzard hosts their aforementioned Warcraft 30th anniversary direct on November 13th, which will be next, as of right now, the 9th, next Wednesday. So not too far. Another remake, really. Still haven't learned their lesson. But yeah, so Warcraft 2, the second war, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened. That's when, with Terrellian, Illyria, and Khadgar kind of get stuck. Um, they get stuck in Outland as it decides that it doesn't want to be a planet anymore. For people who don't know, Draenor was the planet originally, but then after it kind of broke apart, it became Outland. But when it was happening, Illyria, Terrellian, Khadgar were all stuck there. And then when we finally get there, we see Khadgar, and he's in Shattrath, but we don't know where Terrellian and Illyria are. It's later revealed they were off in the Twisting Nether fighting a 1,000-year war. It wasn't really 1,000 years, it's just time works differently in the Twisting Nether. But considering that, Illyria is one of the Windrunner sisters and also a blood elf, 1,000 years for her is nothing. But it wasn't actually 1,000 years. It just time works differently in the Twisting Nether. But they kind of were there, and they were fighting with the army of light. And yeah, while they were doing that, Khadgar was just kind of chilling in Shattrath. And that's when we show up to kind of liberate Outland from Illidan, who's decided to take over for reasons unknown at the time. But yeah, the Second War was really dramatic and really tough for both Outland or Draenor at the time, and for Azeroth. You have this new influx of orcs coming through, and you got like Durotan and Gul'dan and all of them coming through. And eventually Gul'dan eventually goes on to die. Rightly so, as he tries to pillage the Tomb of Sargeras. And Durotan They him and Draka have little baby Goel, or Thrall as we know him, and he eventually is taken by not so savory humans who raise him to be a warrior, make him fight, and we eventually go on to liberate him. Well, in the past, we Caverns of Time, timey-wimey stuff. But yeah, the Second War. The first war was bad enough, and they're like, "Oh, great, we got rid of these orcs. Some might be lingering, but nope, nope. Portal opens up again, uh, with Medivh's help, and you know, but yeah, this the Second War was major. It affected everyone. From Quel'Thalas to Stormwind, Lordaeron, Khazmodan, you name it. This war was affecting them. And having people like Ner'zhul, Gul'dan, you have Orgrim, who was kind of like the new leader of Stormwind after the orcs took over. The orcs managed to take over a lot of the Alliance territory, and having you know the Windrunner sisters kind of defending um, Tyrellian, Khadgar, who is still very young. Um, they all worked together and eventually won. But like I said, they kind of got you know sealed the wanted to seal everything from the other side, and they got stuck there. And just as they get stuck, the planet doesn't want to be a planet anymore and starts to break apart. Thus kind of separating them from everyone else. And then while they're gone, things kind of chill out after the orcs are defeated and banished from the Eastern Kingdoms. Um, you eventually see places being established like Durotar, named after Durotan, who's a great guy, great great war chief, great leader, kind, uh, strong but kind. We see that when we see him in Warlords of Draenor. But even before that, we knew exactly how his character was. He's really not, you know, considered a warlord of Draenor. He's not really much of a warlord. He's powerful and strong, but you know, as opposed to say Ner'zhul or Orgrim. Um, well, Orgrim, but like the other warlords, Khazgoroth, not Khazgoroth. Wow, Hargath or Blackhand, Gul'dan. Compared to them, uh, Durotan is very kind. Um, and yeah, but seeing this game, and I really hope that they don't mess it up, because able to see those events in this game with updated graphics would be really really cool. With Dark Portal and all that stuff, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. Um, just take just leave what was great about the other it originally, and just graphics. Just make sure they're good, unlike the bulky, chunky, not so attractive stuff from 3 Reforged. They have a chance to make up for that mistake, and I hope they go with it, because yeah, because Warcraft 3, huge, huge when it comes to lore. With Arthas and March of the Scourge and his rise as Lich King. So, I mean, that game was the setup for one of the most memorable villains of all time. This story is the tale of the Second War, which is huge. Same thing, huge. So many characters that were involved in here. Terrible things happening not only on Azeroth, but imagine being stranded on a distant planet as it's breaking apart, because so many portals have opened up that the planet is no longer stable, and chunks of it are slowly breaking off, and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to end up in the in space floating there dead, or if somehow for some miracle the planet holds enough together to stay as a planet with just chunks now floating around. So I mean, I can't imagine what it was for Tyrellian and Lyria and Khadgar to see this planet slowly to break apart, knowing that hey, there's no way we can escape this. We are stuck on this planet. Um, but so I really hope they give the lore, keep the lore in as it is, unless it's stuff that they've retconned in the past. Um, and just keep it a good game with just updated graphics. Just don't make it clunky or chunky looking. Just you know, it's not hard. But yeah, Warcraft 2 remastered. Let me know which one of the when did you if you play the games. When did you start playing? Did you start playing like when the first Warcraft released, or was it later on? And which of them is your favorite? I know some people, even though Warcraft the first original is simplistic, it's like, well, it was great for the time and it really holds up well. Or maybe you're more into the lore and you're like, no, Warcraft 3, that was probably some of the best lore written in any game. Um, and let me know if you're gonna pick this one up. If it does, when and if it comes out at whatever point it does. Um, Also, if you played 3 Reforged, let me know what you thought about it. Like, did you find it enjoyable, or are you one of the many who said, no, I want my money back. Shut up and give me back my money. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.